Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, welcome back to RFL Season 11, Round 3 here in Portugal. It is myself, Angela, in the comms box today. Cal today has decided to take up a little bit of racing action. I apologize for the tardiness on my side. I had things, chores and whatever to attend to, so I was a little bit late today. But luckily enough, I managed to get home early enough to get into the quali session. So far, Scott Wyatt in the Ferrari is on pole position, provisional pole, but just by a few thousandths of a second, barely 30 thousandths of a second ahead of Lord James. Kizlesko is up into third place, quite far off actually, almost an entire second, 117.479. Tom Gorian also, I think he set his lap time on mediums, if I am not mistaken. I was in the party with him just before I decided to manage to get the stream started. So, Lord James does his lap. 1:16.168. That's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent lap time here on Portugal. I reckon Scott can go even faster than what he did before. Tom moves up into third place with a 16.87 tenths off of pole position. I think he also may be able to do better after. I think he does have time to have another go. So it's a Ferrari engine 1-2 at least at the moment. The Haas and the Ferrari. Tom Gorian in the Alpine. Renault is in third. Kizlesko and Tier C Deton. Good fourth and fifth places for McLaren Mercedes. Cal is in sixth. Kirby has made a surprise comeback into league racing. He has not raced since, I think, September or October last year, so he's had quite a big break as well. He has indeed. So Fresh, who has retired from the session, I think, or he just left. He is in P8 with 120.105. And Vesper Jupiter and Dr. Mo both still need to set a proper lap time, as So Fresh, as soon as we mention his name, speak of the devil, he is back in the session now and can go for another lap. I think 4 minutes left should be enough to get one more in. In the meantime, talking about the championship in RFL at the moment, it's quite 2 races have gone by, and both races have been won by Lord James, with a very nice display of speed and race management by the Haas driver, as Scott goes back onto the circuit for another attempt. I think the circuit is one that fits him quite well. He's quite good here, around there, so I think he may be able to worry Lord James a little bit, who at the moment has pretty decently dominated the season so far. 2 races, 2 wins. I think 2 pole positions as well. And I think Scott wants to put an end to that. Tom wants to put an end to that. Vapid, unfortunately, is not here today. He has a night shift to do at his job. So it's a shame not seeing him here, because I think he also would have been up there having fun with the likes of Scott, Tom, and Lord James. So far, let me just enable the minimap. So Portugal, we've had 2 Formula 1 races here in the past, 2020 and 2021. We've not had one ever since. We still have the track in game, and it's provided some pretty decent racing indeed. I think the most important bit is turn 8, and just a very banked corner, which is very easy to spin around if you go on the accelerator too early, because the negative banking causes the car to just lift the rear end, basically. You could say, as let's go on board with Scott, who is, I think, on a second outlap. His light is flashing, that means he's charging up ERS. So second outlap as Lord James starts his final lap of the session. A crucial point for the race is the ERS deployment, which is very difficult to recharge around circuits like Qatar and Portimao as well. So I'm keen to see what kind of tricks and magic the drivers will be using today. This is the turn that Lord James just gone through. That is quite tricky most of the time. Causes a lot of spins. A pretty good exit. Let's go on board with Lord James. The penultimate long swooping right corner until we get into the final one, which is also quite a long downhill right hander. Feels like a roller coaster, this one. It is roller coaster Portimao. He goes even faster, not by much, but it's still an improvement, almost in the 15s. Scott is on a lap. He is 0.052 thousandths down, or like up on I think his personal best, if I am not mistaken. There is a car in front of him, but I hope that is not gonna interfere with his lap time. Lord James has retired from the session. Obviously no time to do another lap. Ooh, that looks like a very nice run from Scott there. Easy does it. Good exit into the final part. Oh, he's gone purple in sector 2. Oh, he's had a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of that turn. Hopefully not costing him any time whatsoever. I think he's going to have a little bit of slipstream from the Williams in front of him. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what Scott does. Is he going to get... Oh, he's done something. Scott's done something. He's crashed, apparently. He's done a Scott, basically, so I'm not too sure what went on there. Tom Gorian is not on a lap anymore. He's set his lap time, and it's good enough for third place. Kizlasko, 17.281. He did improve on his previous best. THC Deton is in 5th place, 117.631, just about a little bit less than 4/10 of his teammate. Cal 17 F1 also coming back to a league race here in RFL at least. So it's both AlphaTauri starting in 6th and 7th. It's a pretty decent starting result for the two. Obviously today we have a very small turn up, unfortunately, still larger than what you would have expected. We were expecting 8 people, but thanks to Cal's and Kirby's generosity to race, they have upped the field up to 10. So, Lord James secures pole position by over half a second, a quite dominating performance so far. Scott and Tom are in 2nd and 3rd respectively, followed by both McLarens of Kizlasko and TRC Deton, and after that both AlphaTauris of Cal and Kirby, who once again, Kirby coming back to league racing, doing a very good job indeed. So Fresh, Vesper, Jupiter and Dr. Mo round off the rest of the top 10. So, again, as I say, Portimao has hosted 2 Formula 1 races in the past, 2020 and 2021. Both won by Lewis Hamilton, I believe. Both races not really too exciting in real life, at least. Hopefully will be the case in the game. We've had an interesting battle for the lead in 2021 and a fantastic recovery for Kimi Räikkönen 2020, where he overtook quite a few cars to from outside the points, then like an absolute rocket ship launched himself into the top 10 and overtook quite a few cars on lap 1, showcasing his experience. So let's see what the drivers are running on. Soft tires for everyone bar Tom Gorian, Cal and Kirby. So both the AlphaTauris. Ooh, Lord James has decided to switch onto the mediums right last second. So both AlphaTauris, Tom and Lord James 22 are on the medium tires. This is a circuit which does have considerable amount of tire wear. Not too bad, but also not very good either. Just waiting a little bit just to make sure that people will ready up when they have to ready up. I do believe we have a formation lap on. So far, things remaining pretty chill. Chat is civil so far, so that's good. Tom Gorian did indeed say that we will be going at 2027 GMT, 21:27 if you're from the European Standard Time, and America about 7 hours behind, meaning it is about, should be 2 p.m. Should be 2 p.m. if I am not mistaken. So Kirby making a comeback, Cal making a comeback in RFL. Those two will be an interesting watch. They will most definitely bring points back if they do not cause shenanigans, which they shouldn't. Both them very clean, very respectful drivers indeed. I'm interested to see what Tom Scott can do against the superhuman speed of Lord James driving for Haas. Let's check the tires just real quick. Maybe if somebody's changed strategy. Yep, there you go. Most of the field are on mediums, with the exception of Deton, So Fresh, Vesper, Jupiter, and Dr. Mo. The rest all on mediums as expected, because mediums do provide some very decent pace compared to softs over a long run, especially on a circuit that is quite stressful on its tires. Even though the tire wear is not too bad, the tire temperature will be decisive for today's race. So it is 21:27 just about now, and we should be able to see the cars go out on their formation lap soon. So wait a couple of seconds, maybe just 10-20 seconds left until we start. Chat, let me know who you think today it will be the winner, as Tom Gorian sends the message, the all clear. Ten drivers showing up today. Was hoping for more, but there you can see the field is quite small, but that should not be an excuse to miss out on some fantastic racing today. between the likes of the top three and also obviously the rest of the field, who've delivered some interesting performances the last two races in RFL. Again, this is third week of RFL season 11, so the round 3 here in Portugal. Again, Lord James is so far on the maximum available points in terms of race race points, with the exception of fastest lap. He's won both of the two races we've disputed so far, and let's see if he can go and get his third successive win. Warming up the tyres, the two of them, Scott and Lord James, quite far. James quite far ahead of the field so far. May need to bunch it up a little bit unless they want to wait for a long period of time. Heading through into the final two corners now. Let's go set. So everyone bear the bottom three is on mediums, and Sophus, Vesper, Jupiter, and Dr. Mo all on the softs. Three of them. We will have a good race today. Please stay tuned. I know we're not usually this few drivers, but that should not make any difference in terms of racing action. Warming up the tires are the drivers placing their absolute crazy Formula 1 machines ready to rip down the main straight into turn 1 as Cal messes up his positioning on the starting lot, but that is not too detrimental as we have 5 red lights and it's lights out for the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Scott has a fantastic start. He takes the lead into turn 1. Tom Gorian has a look down the inside of Lord James, who's had an absolutely poor start as Tom sends it down the inside, makes the overtake stick so far, and James is down to P3 as Kislesko has... Deaton, was overtaken by Vesper Jupiter's had a brilliant start. From 9th on the grid, he's moved up to 5th position already. Deaton down to 6th. 7th is Sofresh, has also made up a place. Both AlphaTauris have dropped down a few positions, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Dr. Mo retains his last place so far. So Scott into the lead. Tom Gorian, an absolutely blaring start from him as well, is up to 2nd. Now it's his job to try and get Scott while holding up Lord James at the same time. Kislesko is also there right now. And Vesper is already being put a little bit under pressure by Deaton, who has a small look down the inside of that turn. Sofresh also up to speed there behind them. And Deaton makes the overtake stick. Quite fast car down the straight. Ooh, there's a little bit of weaving going on at the back. The two AlphaTauris having a ding-dong between each other as Kirby is ahead of Cal. And Cal has a little bit of a look down the inside. Lord James has had an awful run there. I don't know what's happened to him. He's got wing damage. He may have had contact with Tom. Maybe contact with Tom, damage to his wing. He's missing his end plate, and that's blown the race wide open for the people ahead of him now. He's dropped down to last. Almost. Dr. Mo lets him stay ahead for some reason. Get on with it, son. Come on, you can get ahead of him. So, it's a free battle for the lead between Scott and Tom so far, because Lesko's steadily dropping down behind them. He's already over a second behind Tom, so no DRS for the McLaren driver. The other McLaren is also outside of DRS, but the other two drivers that are in DRS is Vesper Jupiter in the Aston Martin and Sofresh, who is quite decently up to speed. He has improved quite a lot since last last 2 RFL seasons. So let's see what he can do. His teammate is in the lead, obviously, so he's going to want to try and do his best as well. As the 2 AlphaTauris seem to have another ding-dong soon enough. As Lord James goes into the pits, but we will look at the tires he's going to put in as... Ooh, Vesper already with the penalty. Sends it down the inside of Deaton. Side by side, almost leave each other the space. There you go, makes it move stick around the outside, but Deaton is not agreeing with that overtake. Just a little bit more contact, and he runs really wide there, gets forced off the circuit a little bit. Watch out for So Fresh around the outside in the Ferrari, also on the soft compound tires. And there you go, So Fresh, nicely done, up to P5 so far. Deaton defends his position, is in 4th. Kozlesko is still just about above the 1 second DRS window, but is still sitting there. Tom Gorian is about to lose it, though. Now, as the DRS is enabled this lap, Tom is just out of the DRS zone. This may be problematic for him now. No DRS for him. Scott sets the fastest lap of 1:20.243. He is flying away at the moment. Lord James has put the hard tyres on. I reckon he is going to pit again at some point, maybe. Ooh, Cal and Kirby having a ding-dong. I'm sure they are laughing with each other in the party, those two at the same time. They're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, I just saw a little bit of debris from the Haas car, so I guess that was a little bit of there was a little bit of contact between a Haas and I think the Haas of Lord James and the Alpine of Tom Gorian. So far, these 2 AlphaTauri drivers are having fun, overtaking each other left, right, and center every lap. Scott is Scotty's keeping Tom honest outside of the DRS zone. Just about 1.1 second. If Tom wants to have any chance of getting even closer to Scott, he needs to be just under a second to gain a heap amount of time down this main straight you see right now. It's one of those straights where it's one of those tracks where you need the downforce, but if you don't have the straight line speed, you're gonna get overtaken by everyone on the main straight. Tom once again a little bit closer as something's happened to Vesper. He's in the pits. Vesper is in the pits. Kirby has lost a little bit of time to Cal, so it seems like it's gonna stay a 6th and the 7th place for the 8th AlphaTauri drivers, also today now known as Racing Bulls. Let me know, lads, what you think about the livery that was released yesterday by Visa Cash App. Hopefully you'll enjoy the car. I like the livery. I do like it indeed. Hopefully you do as well. And now let's go with Scott with an absolutely beautiful helicopter shot, and it should last quite a while still. Through the penultimate corner into the final turn they go. Tom is 1.4 seconds behind, so obviously nothing he can do at all there. To turn 1, let's see if Tom Gorian can catch a little bit. At 1.3, the gap has stagnated a little bit between the 2 of them in the lead. 2 AlphaTauris doing quite well in 6th and 7th place. Lord James quite far off, 21 seconds off of P9. Vesper Jupiter 94 is in last after pitting. Not too sure if that was wing damage or if that was a scheduled stop. But that doesn't seem to get into the way of the two drivers ahead. Because Lesko is not dropping off too much. He's just 2.8 seconds behind. He's not lost as much time as you'd maybe have expected. Down the main straight they go. The Ferrari and the Alpine. Which is this very tricky section of corners. You need a lot of precision. Unless, if you don't, you will go over sausage curbs there and destroy your floor. And you do not want to do that because you need the floor to have a good pace. So, it's lap 7 out of 33. We're just about a third through, almost. And so far, so good. Tom Gorian has gained quite a bit of time there to Scott. I'm not too sure if Scott's made a mistake or just Tom decided to go faster, I guess. But all I do know is that it does enable the DRS for them. To the final corner they go. Tom is within 0.8 of a second as there's a yellow flag. One of the McLarens is spun. No safety car, no damage done seemingly to that car. Tom has a look at Scott's car. He's keeping P1 with an iron fist at the moment. 8th lap, number 8 from 30 out of 33. Scott is now being put under pressure by Tom, who, though, as soon as I say that, he drops over a second back. Now under 1 second, now over 1 second again. So these two are quite evenly matched so far, I've noticed. TM, Kirby and Cal are still very close to each other. 1.3 seconds separating the two AlphaTauri drivers. Once again, like I said, Kirby making a comeback to league racing for a one-off, and Cal putting the helmet back on and deciding that he wanted to try out racing one more time, and he does indeed seem to be doing quite well. In the meantime, in the lead, Tom Gorian is still not close enough to Scott's Ferrari. There's nothing much he can do so far other than stay behind Scott and try and pass him on a mistake, maybe. Lure him out to make a mistake, but that's easier said than done, because Scott is not somebody who makes mistakes easily. Just go a bit down the two AlphaTauris. Still pretty close to each other. Cal with a little bit more ERS deployment available to him. So far so good. So far so good. Ooh, lifting and coasting from the Irishman in the red Ferrari. Having a beautiful shot at the rear of the car. These two are absolutely flying away. There goes Tom around the outside, no, down the inside into turn 1, and Scott just decides go through. He's not going to fight it because turn 1 is quite an awkward place to fight, so he's just going to have to try and save up just a little bit of battery as Jupiter gets a penalty. for exceeding track limits, I think that was. So Scott's on 86%. He's got double the amount of ERS deployment available to him than Tom Gorian in front of him in the Alpine. So Scott is gonna need to get... Maybe he's gonna get past him, maybe he's gonna wait behind him a little bit, because they do seem to have the pace over the rest of the field. Kozlesko has dropped down massively in the last couple of laps, now up almost up to 5 seconds, 4.6. 5 seconds, sorry, almost 4.6 seconds between P4 and P3 and P2. Let's go on board with the Alpine BWT Tom Gorian Mobile. So it opens up the DRS in that Ferrari, and he's closing. It's getting closer, but nothing to do, and he lifts off quite heavily. Does Scott? So he seems to have a trick up his sleeve. Oh, he almost rams into the back of Tom Gorian's Alpine. That would not have been ideal at all if that was an accident. These two obviously are extremely competitive, as we're now just about 1/3 through the race, 11 laps out of 33, so another 22 laps. Just about. Deaton putting so fresh under pressure. He's been doing a brilliant race so far in the Ferrari at the moment. After starting last, I think he's up to P3, P4 already. There you go. On board with the BWT AlphaTauri, driven by Tom Gorian as the Ferrari. Has a look around the outside this time, trying to reiterate Tom Gorian's overtake, and he does make it stick nicely indeed. Well done to Scott. That was a good move down the inside of that corner. Very difficult to get the car stopped in time. So obviously the medium runners should be able to start going a bit faster than the soft runners at the moment. Softs are starting to wear down a little bit. Tire temperatures are starting to get increasingly crucial. I think tire temperatures are quite crucial in ever since a couple of years in the game. So I wonder who is going to pit first out of the two drivers at the front. Lord James is still in P9, 1 second ahead of behind Dr. Mo. Oh, wait, no, Cal. So no, he's 0.5 seconds now. As Tom had a wee look down the inside of Scott's P1 position. I'll just quickly have a setting change. Bear with me for a couple of seconds. Just trying to fix a few issues. Should be fixed now. So the issues have been fixed indeed, and so far Scott is ahead of Tom Gorian still. Kislesko is in P3 still. Sort of in no man's land at the moment. He's 15 seconds ahead of P4, and he's 5 seconds behind Tom Gorian in P2. So at the moment, Kislesko's bored out of his mind. Hopefully, he doesn't fall asleep out of the nothingness that is happening to him at the moment. As Deaton has a look down the inside of So Fresh, he does seem to be able to make the move stick around the outside, switches down the inside. The McLaren driver needs to make the overtake stick. He does make it stick down the inside and is finally past So Fresh. So Fresh with the softs perhaps starting to wear down a little bit just now. Obviously soft tires degrade a bit faster. Tom has gotten himself quite close again. Is within the second of of Scott White. Sorry about that. Opens the DRS down the straight. Let's go on board with him, just see how much he gains. Very important is to not get penalties here, as look at this. TM Kirby and Cal 17F1 are at it again. Kirby has closed the gap down to just 0.5 of a 0.5 seconds, and he absolutely slaps the DRS open. Look at him go. Look at him go down the inside. Has a look, but decides against it. But that makes Cal run wide a little bit. That unsettles his car a little. Ooh, he's run wide. Kirby controlling the car there. Slide. Ooh, goes on the grass. Does keep it on track. DRS open down the inside. The two AlphaTauri drivers going side by side. Once again, what a beautiful switchback by Cal. But Kirby seems to have the upper hand so far, as they still are side by side. But Kirby says, "No, you're staying behind me," and now he is ahead of Cal 17F1 of his teammate. Those two are having lots of fun, I can tell, as Tom and Scott both are at it again. This time Scott has a larger advantage, still a little bit more ERS deployment, as I don't think Tom is within DRS range, so no DRS for Tom. He's not going to gain as much as he would have hoped down that straight, thanks to that, as just about now we're through to halfway in the race. We still not had any virtual safety cars, physical safety cars, nothing. Quite a clean race so far, and field spread is quite big. Just look at that on the opposite direction, on the opposite side of the circuit, where Tom Gorian was at the hairpin, is Lord James. Ooh, Kirby and Cal are having another go at each other, and Cal cannot get past Kirby yet. But look at that, down the inside, the AlphaTauri has a look. Oh, they make it. Ooh, lock cap from Cal. I think there you go, Lord James has caught up to them. Their little ding-dong is costing them a lot of time against James in the Haas, just behind them in the distance. These two are probably not going to give any Fs about that Haas behind them. All they want is to have fun with each other, racing each other at Portugal, which is a very good venue for racing in the games, at least. As Tom has gotten quite considerably close to Scott this time. He has a little bit of a wider line, so he can turn in a bit earlier and have a bit of a better exit. But Scott fends it off. No need to worry yet for the Ferrari driver. Cal goes into the pits. He's one of the first people to stop. after So Fresh and Dr. Mo. Kirby is being put under pressure. Ooh, by Lord James, who has a slide into the corner. Kirby doesn't really defend because it is not his battle. He probably doesn't even care about finishing in the points. All he wants is to have a fun battle with Cal 17F1. Those two are good friends. They enjoy each other's company. They enjoy having fun racing online, so I guess that's not too big of a problem for the two of them. So Fresh is still doing pretty decently in P7. Is trying to catch the drivers ahead. Vesper Jupiter has not had his session's not been too great. He's had quite a few issues during this session. Cal 17F1 pitted now onto hards. He's gonna make some inroads on his teammate. May have missed an overtake for the lead there, because Tom Gorian now is ahead of Scott. There's quite a bit going on between some of the drivers. Having to cover all of them is a bit difficult, even though we are just 10 today. So Scott has been done by Tom. Now he needs to undo the overtake and give it back to Tom Gorian as quickly as possible. Another penalty for Jupiter. We're on lap 18 out of 33. We still have a long way to go. Just about 15 laps left of the session. Scott is very close to the rear end of that Alpine driven by Tom Gorian. Uses up his ERS. Scott doesn't use too much of it. Let's raise the volume and have a look at that BWT Alpine rear wing, because there's a Ferrari that is analyzing that rear wing quite extensively at the moment. We're really close. Into the final two corners we go. Final turn. Scott should be able to have Tom this time. Oh, as Tom sends it down into the pit lane, let's check what kind of tires he's gonna put on for his final stint. Is it gonna be mediums? Is it gonna be hards? Is it gonna be softs? What tires? What tires? Ooh, it's soft tires. But he's being held in the pit. Something's happened. Okay, no, never mind. It was a glitch. So a little bit of lag. So he's kept going. He's on softs. 13 laps. Should be able to do it. They will be a bit cooked towards the end. They will be quite used up by the end of the race. But it should be sufficient for him. Now the question is, what is Scott going to do? Is Scott going to react to it soon? Or is he going to wait a little bit? Maybe have a little bit more fresher tires towards the end? That is the big mystery at the moment. We'll see him pull into the pits or not very soon, as he just now goes into the final sector. Into the final corner we go, and he does pull into the pits immediately. So it's the leader. What the gap is to the leader, it's 22.077. The gap, who's had a glitch again. Not too surprised there. Thanks, Codemasters, once again. And EA for providing such a fantastic game. There you see Tom driving down the straight, and he is obviously ahead. That fresh set of softs has put the race into his favor now, because now he's ahead. 12 laps to go, and Tom is in the favorable position of winning the race at the moment. He is 3 seconds ahead. So Scott needs to have a move on immediately, just coming out of the pits just now. Just needs to get tires up to temperature quite quickly now to try and apply the blowtorch to Tom. Is this going to be Tom's first win of the season? Is this going to be Scott's first win of the season? We'll find out soon enough, as the two AlphaTauris and the Aston Martin Vespa Jupiter having an absolute ding-dong battle at the back here. Cal 17F1 defending his position and the Aston Martin has a look down the inside again, looking forward to dropping him into 9th place. And so far, Vespa has made the overtake work. He is ahead of Cal, who is on hard tyres. Kirby has moved on to the soft as well. Lord James also is pitted for soft. TRC Deaton, medium, sorry. TRC Deaton has pitted for fresh softs. Something's happened to Cal. Something happened to Cal. No, these two are just overtaking each other like madmans. So Kezlesko is 11 seconds behind Scott and 28 seconds in front of SoFresh in P4. So basically Kezlesko's had just a boring race, just in between the best and slightly less best, if you can say that, if that even is a way to phrase it. Down the inside goes Lord James of the SoFresh Ferrari car, and up to P4, 28 seconds now behind the lead, 17 seconds behind P3. So he needs to get just about a second, just more than a second a lap to try and catch Kezlesko. As Jupiter has another penalty. I think that is six track extension penalties, as Tom is being caught by Scott. Just about one lap and a half ago, the gap was 2.9 seconds, and now it's 2.1 seconds. So maybe that extra lap is gonna bite Tom in the rear towards the end of the race, because we still have decent amount of 10 laps racing left, as Cal is having a look. Oh, never mind. It's Vespa Jupiter, sorry. Oh, what has he done? That is odd. That is really odd. I don't know what happened. I just caught that on camera. I just turned. Maybe his controller unplugged. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But that was a hefty impact there that destroyed his car. I hope it was a mistake. Just the controller deciding to not work. Because that looked quite odd. But so far, no safety car. So we've had the first retirement today after 24 laps. 9 laps left of this race. Tom is still ahead of Scott. Now he's built up the gap a little bit, just 0.2 more than what was the previous lap on lap 23. Now lap 24, 9 laps to go. These are probably going to be very long 9 laps for the two of these, because Scott wants to win, Tom wants to win, and Tom is not letting that happen at the moment. So it's going to be Tom is going to be one to watch for today. As the gap is still pretty hefty. At the moment, still just about 1.9 seconds Kozlowski is 9.9 seconds behind, and Lord James in the house is starting to catch Kozlowski. As Tom Goring comes across the finish line, 2 seconds ahead of Scott so far. Wonder if that will change sooner or later, or if it's gonna stay the same. So I will have to fix a couple of technical issues and we'll be back within 2 minutes. Let's enjoy an onboard from Charles Leclerc's Ferrari in the meantime. So we are back. Technical difficulties have been fixed, but this means that Scott has caught up massively to Tom. Let's go on board with Scott and just have a look how close he's going to get. Wide open with the DRS. Tom runs a little bit wide, has a little bit of a wider entry. He's really close now. Tom using up his ERS quite a bit. Scott just conservatively using it in quick, small flashes of usage. Now we gotta look at this at full glory. We have to look at this, just clean rear view of that Ferrari getting big on screen, and even bigger in Tom's mirrors. A few different lines being taken by the two. Look at that, has a nice entry, but gains a little bit of an exit again. Tom manages to extend his gap just a little bit. Is that going to be enough for him to keep the lead? Look at Scott getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Let's go outside. Down the inside, Scott goes and makes the overtake stick. Does run a little bit wide, which leaves the door open for Tom. They leave each other space. Had a look down the inside, but Tom now can have a better run into the hairpin. Down the inside he goes. They make contact, the two. Scott really not wanting to let him pass, but he has the switchback. Let's turn on the screen again. to see if anything else is happening, and it's them too. Oh, and there's been contact, and there will be heated words in the party. These two are in the party together. There's gonna be lots of things being said between the two at the moment. Tom is gonna be livid at Scott for that. Hopefully no damage to his car. Doesn't look like there's any visual damage. Maybe on his MFD it's gonna show up as damage, but nothing so far. I can imagine things kicking off in the party between those two. As Scott starts the 29th lap out of 33, so Tom is... Props to his recovery though, he managed to recover the car quite quickly and not lose too much time. Kizlesko has gotten closer, just a little bit closer to him, but that should not... Ooh, he's sliding a little bit, maybe there is some damage, maybe obviously tires are a little bit cooked. A little bit after that spin, but Scott did lose a little bit of time there, but he's getting it back now. The gap went down to 3.7. Now it's back up to 4.1. Yeah, that's not ideal. Not ideal at all. And that was the only battle we were having on track at the moment. The rest of the field is quite spread out, quite massively, and so far nothing going on anymore. That's a battle we've been stripped away of, fortunately. But who knows? Scott has gained another half a second since beginning of last lap. There doesn't seem to be any damage for Tom, so he's good to continue so far. Scott in the lead. Wonder what's gonna happen after the race. For that, may have to tune in myself into the party after the race. I do have to say we will not be having driver interviews for these because of these sort of cases. Ooh, he is sliding a little bit. Those softs have seen are past. They are past their better. They've seen better days. Oh, he's sliding again. He's pushing. Maybe knowing that maybe there's gonna be a ticket against him. He's trying to push and make the gap as big as possible. But we'll see how this turns out. Let's have a quick look at who has the fastest lap. Can I see? Nope. Fastest lap is indeed by Lord James, 1:18.340. Oh, Kirby, another penalty. No, Kirby. That is not what you need. But so far, I think he's going to keep 7th place because Cal is 21 seconds behind him on the hard tires. Scott with the number 9 on this car. Been used to seeing him with a 28. This time he is on with the number 9. Number 9 large. Number 6 with extra dip. Obviously, if you know the reference, props to you. Kozlowski is in third, still 11 seconds ahead of James, so I don't think James will be able to do anything about his position. He's recovered quite well. And is back up to fourth. D-Tom is in fifth. Also quite a decent race for him. So Fresh has done quite well today as well. Up to P6, as there you go. Kirby is closing up to him, but the penalties he has is not going to help him. So maybe even just for the racing experience, just for like pride on track, he's going to try and catch and pass So Fresh. He is getting closer. So maybe we'll see a pass on the final lap, maybe, but I don't see that happening at the moment, as we are on the final lap. Scott in the lead. Tom down to still up to second, but 6 seconds behind after that contact they had. Kozlowski in P3, no man's land. He's been by himself the entire race. James also is in no man's land. He's 10 seconds behind P3 and 16 seconds ahead of P5. Scott going through the final two turns now up to the final corner, and there you go. We have the second winner of the season. Scott wins the race ahead of Tom Gorian in second place, but provisionally so far, maybe we'll see tickets. Maybe this will not be the final result. We don't know, but so far Tom is crossing the line in second. Kozlowski crosses up there for third place, and there you go. You have your podium positions set. As Lord James slows down. Maybe ran out of fuel? No, it didn't run out of fuel. Just slow down a little bit. TRC Deton. Down to final corner. Up the hill and towards the finish line. Finishes a very good 5th place. Good points for the McLaren team. So Fresh, after a very decent race, he did seem to run out of fuel. As Kirby does get him, but I think Kirby almost got him, but due to penalties, he still is behind him, obviously. Cal, the other AlphaTauri, is the 7th and 8th place for the AlphaTauri drivers who have had a very decent debut. 2 of them for season. As Cal crosses the line, and then we have Dr. Mo finishing in 9th. Already in the chat being said, apologies by Lord James already. Taking blame for, apparently the accident was caused by James. So props to him for being honest and owning up to his apparent mistake. We love to see that. We love seeing drivers recognize mistakes. And there you have it. There you have your podium, as Scott has P1, P2 for Tom Gorian, and P3 for Kozlowski, lifting up the trophy. Well done to the Ferrari driver. Ferrari celebrating a win. And it's time for the champagne. Tom not really happy about that, obviously, but we'll see how things will turn out after. And there you have it. Results for round 3, RFL season 11. It's been a decent race. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And this is your final result. Scott in first, provisional, of course. Tom in second, Kosciuszko in third, fourth for Lord James after having a very good recovery. The only one on a two-stop still managed to finish P4. TRC Deton in fifth, So Fresh in sixth, seventh for TM Kirby. Very decent comeback for him. Had good pace, 120.388, his fastest personal lap time. Cal in 8th, 20. Dr. Mo in 9th, and Jupiter, the only DNF of the race. Quite interesting way to retire, but we will see what things will be like after the race. Obviously, there you have it. So, this is it for today. Portugal has been completed. Round 3 is over with. And now, looking forward to round 4 of RFL. Stay tuned for that. Championship battle is starting to heat up a little bit. Today we've seen James not able to capitalize on his pole position for the first time this season. And yeah, hopefully we get more races like this with unpredictable results. Vanangelo, hope you enjoyed today's race, and we will catch you for round 4 of RFL season 11. And it's a good evening on my side, and have a good one. See yous. Bye bye.